Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Level Up with Aaron video. Today I'm going to be talking about finances. Specifically, going to share with you guys a few tips and tricks in order to hopefully become wealthy one day. I won't make any promises, but I'm going to share with you some ideas that if you guys implement these, I'm 100% positive that they will help you along your journey to becoming wealthy. I'm using that term wealthy as a catch-all phrase, but it's different for everybody. Whether you're a millionaire or whether you have $100,000, you're still wealthy depending on your frame of reference. But the habits that you're going to employ and the discipline that you're going to employ are going to be the keys as opposed to necessarily a specific dollar figure. Wealthy is not a defined term. So I'm going to start off with a few core characteristics. The first one is you need to be disciplined. Disciplined is in you need to be able to tell yourself no. When you go out to the store and you see some tools or you see a new car you want to get or even see a dress or whatever, you really need to stop and ask yourself, is this something that I need or is it something that I want? And if it's something that you want, then you probably should not buy it and you should actually budget for it, set money aside, and then when you have that money, pay for it. These days, everybody uses credit, and they just charge it and worry about it later. But if you truly want to become wealthy, that's a bad mindset and a bad way to do things. You need to be able to really look at the situation and then, have the self-control to tell yourself, no, I don't need this. And that's how you can sacrifice now or develop the good habits of sacrificing for stuff that's superficial or not needed in order to have the long-term success of becoming more wealthy. I'm going to tell you that wealth, obviously, this is a journey. This is, a never-ending journey. This isn't going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen within a year. And even if it does happen, say you start up a business and you're successful and you're a millionaire within a year, that's great. But if you don't employ these ideas, then most likely that money is going to disappear and you're not going to be wealthy anymore. Look at all the celebrities that hit it big and then they carelessly manage their money and then all of a sudden they're poor. So these ideas are universal for everybody, and no matter where you're at in life, you can employ these. And let me give you a few kind of tips and tricks. So when you're going to buy a car, say you're starting off buying a car, never is it a good idea to buy a brand new car. Really, your best idea if you want something new and something well taken care of is to get a 1-year-old or 2-year-old car, have it checked out by a mechanic, thoroughly checked, because the depreciation that occurs or the loss of value that occurs when you buy a new car is ridiculous. So it's always a horrible idea. And besides your house, that's Americans' number one debt besides their house payment is their car payment. So you really got to take a step back and sacrifice a little bit and say, you know what, I don't need to buy a brand new car. I can get a year-old or 2-year-old car, save 40% off by buying that year-old or 2-year-old car, and then keep that for 20 years or 10 years or whatever, and you'll be much better off than buying a brand new car and then say you get tired of it in 3 years, which most people do. You want to turn around and sell that. You're going to take a big chunk on it. Anything that has a motor is a bad investment, be it a car, motorcycles, houses. There's like 99.9% of all of those things with a motor in it are a bad investment. So don't buy them to make money or to help you on your journey to become wealthy. The second trick I want to share with you guys is setting a budget. So this is probably one of the number one things you can do to really become successful is setting a budget and sticking to that budget. There are tons of different tools out there to help you do this. Some people use spreadsheets. There's actually apps on your phone now, which are great because you can really kind of keep your budget in line on a regular basis because everybody has their phone with them all the time. I recommend there's an app out there called Every Dollar. It's a free app. You can go in and put your budget in there, and then whenever you're out spending money, you just put in your expenses, and it'll tell you right there on the spot what your budget is. So you really want to be in control of your money. You don't want to just spend it recklessly. You really want to say, hey, you know what? I've got $200 to spend on fast food this month, and really stick to that. And once you get down low, don't go over that budget unless it's an emergency. You can make an adjustment to that budget, but if you got to spend more money on one particular area, then you need to sacrifice another area. So if you need more money because it's somebody's birthday and you didn't plan for their birthday, then you got to take money out of your restaurant budget and put it towards their birthday present. So you really want to lay out all of your categories, whether you're young and your expenses are really basic as far as insurance, fast food, car payment, or if you're farther along in life and you've got a budget for kids, daycare, mortgage payments, all that stuff. You really get it down on paper and then stick to it. I actually recommend for some of those categories that people really have a hard time spending, say it's clothes or entertainment or restaurants, you should literally develop like a cash envelope system. And that's pretty much where you only have that money in your hand that you can spend in those categories. That'll prevent you from going over your budget. So if you just swipe it, everybody loves swiping cards, but it's easy to lose track of your purchases and then to go over your budget. Where if you just have a cash like in your wallet or in an envelope, I mean, you can really see, hey, okay, I've got $20 left in my envelope for fast food, and once that's gone, then I'm done. And if you're disciplined and you stick to the envelope system in your budget, you will be able to find ways to set aside more money for saving for retirement. Young people, that's a hard concept for them to grasp, but the earlier you get started saving, the much better off you're going to be down the road. And then you can start this this fortune for your family that you can pass on to them. So the sooner you can get started saving, the better. You make what you make, and everybody lives on what they make. So if you set a budget, you can really define areas where you can set a little bit of extra aside, and that's important for everyone to do. I know when you're a young kid, I'm going to address some of the youngsters out there that, image is everything, but let me tell you, it's definitely not worth it. I mean, if people don't like you for who you are, don't worry about spending all this money just to impress them. You need to stay true to yourself. If you enjoy, clothes, etc., that's fine. That's great. You can budget for those areas and spend money in those areas, but don't feel like that you need to go out of your way to spend all your money so you've got the best new clothes just so you can impress other people, because that's not a strategy that you can employ that's going to help you in the long run. And the sooner you can learn that, the better. There are phases of life, especially in your late teens to probably mid 20s. Obviously, image is everything. Then majority of people, you kind of, as you get older in life, you start to have your wants and desires shift, and you're not as concerned with impressing other people with your money. So if you can drive a beater now when you're young and stay out of debt, then you're going to be set in your 20s and your 30s. I've heard stories, and I'm on my journey myself, but I've heard stories of people that are in their 30s and completely debt free. Even their house, they own a house, but they've had the house paid off, and that's awesome. I'm on my journey to that right now, and we're just paying down my wife's student loan, which if you can avoid student loans, definitely do so. But for a lot of people, it's inevitable. So the faster you can save money and set money aside, then you want to pay off that debt. Even before you start saving for retirement, your number one priority should be paying off your debt. I'm going to kind of give a shout out here to Dave Ramsey. If you haven't checked him out, he is out there on the internet and YouTube, I think, and all that. But he's kind of got 8 what he calls baby steps. And if you follow these baby steps, they're going to help you on that journey to becoming wealthy. And of course, if I walk through his baby steps, I gave him some credit, so hopefully he wouldn't mind. But the first baby step, of course, you want to set aside emergency funds. So in case your car breaks down or you get hurt or whatever, you want to try to set some money aside. So a good figure for that starting off is $1,000. The second step is you want to pay off all your debt. Dave Ramsey, of course, says pay off your debt in order from smallest to largest, because that way, you know, those small wins of you paying off your little debts will help you feel accomplished and actually, you know, get you rolling. So they call it a snowball. So you pay off the small ones first, all the way down to your biggest debt, and then once you've accumulated all those debt payoffs, then you've got momentum to really charge through the big debts at the end. The third step is 3 to 6 months of emergency fund after you've paid off your debt. Fourth step is set aside 15% for retirement. Fifth step is set aside money for your kids' college fund. Sixth step is pay off your home. And then seventh step is save. I think I'm missing one step in there, but those are the big key steps. And definitely kind of check those out. Let me see, what else did I want to talk about with finances? I mean, really, it's willpower, it's discipline, you know, that's really what it comes down to. You have to be able to tell yourself no. You know, everybody, you know, they act on their impulses, and that's where they get into trouble. But if you can tell yourself no, you're going to be a lot better off in the long run. And a lot of times, those things that you think you want, after you have them, it's not all that it's cracked up to be. You know, so if you think you need the newest and greatest, you get the newest and greatest, and then you're like, okay, this is super. You know, I've got a brand new Mercedes in the garage, but really, after a little while, you know, it doesn't really have that significance that it had when you first got it. You basically like, okay, that's great. Now, you know, I either need a new, brand new Mercedes to make me feel happy again, or, you know, basically just you settle with what you got. But that's kind of where the idea of, hey, only get what you need, not necessarily what you want. And if you really, you know, you can set some money aside for your wants, but obviously your needs got to come first. And after your needs, then you should start, you know, planning and investing and setting money aside for the future. And that's how you become wealthy. This is a quick little video. I'm just kind of shooting off the top of my head. Hopefully a few of these ideas and just the general principle is information you can take and employ in your daily life. Please feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. If you've got investing questions, I got lots of information on that. I mean, I'm part of a deferred comp board where I set, you know, the funds for my organization, and we you know, set up the retirement options for all of the members in the plan. So I know a little bit about investing, and I'm not going to try to tell you to get rich quick. There's no, you know, quick overnight, hey, put your money all here and you're going to get rich, you know. So it's a journey, and just employ some of these good habits in your journey. You know, it's going to be a great journey. Just enjoy the journey. Oh, losing my camera. All right, well, thanks for tuning in to another Level Up with Aaron video. I'll catch you guys later.